Hello, Level Cast learners. Welcome to your daily dose of international news. Let's get started with the important stories from around the world today, May 27, 2026. News 1 of 16. First up, in Australia, the big mining company BHP has admitted that its plans to reduce harmful emissions are not going as fast as expected. The Premier of Western Australia said that mining companies have a moral obligation to stop polluting. A manager from BHP's iron ore operations in Western Australia couldn't say exactly when the company would stop using diesel trucks. This news comes after some secret documents showed that their plans to become more environmentally friendly have been delayed. News 2 of 16. Moving to Europe, Iceland's foreign minister, Orgerur Katrín Gunnarsdóttir, is worried about a Brexit moment in a possible public vote about joining the European Union. She said that people who are against joining are trying to scare others. This concern comes with warnings about false information and the use of artificial intelligence in the debate. The minister fears that the vote could have a similar surprising result to when the UK voted to leave the EU. News 3 of 16. The situation in the Middle East continues to be tense. Israel has increased its military actions in Lebanon. They have told people living in the south of Lebanon to leave their homes and go north, calling the area a combat zone. This warning came just one day after Israel launched over 120 airstrikes on the country. Villagers in Lebanon have described their difficult lives under Israeli control and constant attacks. News 4 of 16. In other European news, ministers from the European Union have stated that the United Kingdom will not receive any special treatment. They said there would be no cherry-picking of policies. This statement comes after the UK's leader, Starmer, said he hoped to negotiate a special agreement for goods to enter the single market. The EU's message is clear. The UK cannot choose only the parts of EU membership it likes. News 5 of 16. Today's briefing asks if the UK can get ready for a new normal of very hot weather. As heat waves become stronger, Britain needs to face the fact that its society was built for cooler temperatures. This means that leaders, communities, and families must all rethink how they live, work, and stay cool. It's a big challenge to adapt to these changing weather conditions. News 6 of 16. Good news from Hungary. Members of Parliament have voted to keep the country as a member of the International Criminal Court, ICC. This decision overturns a previous choice made by the former leader, Orbán. The new leader, Péter Magyar, won the election and promised to stop the country from leaving the court before the withdrawal officially happened. This vote means Hungary will remain part of the international justice system. News 7 of 16. In Iran, the lifting of internet restrictions has shown how angry people are about rising food prices. As the government slowly brings back internet access, people are expressing their unhappiness about how much food costs and the shortages they are facing. This public anger highlights the economic difficulties many Iranians are experiencing. News 8 of 16. The Middle East crisis continues with mixed messages from the US about a deal with Iran. The former president, Trump, and his Secretary of State have given different statements about the agreement. This happened while the US president met with his team. Experts are also wondering if a pause in selling weapons to Taiwan is connected to the conflict with Iran. News 9 of 16. We remember Carlo Petrini, an Italian activist, author, and a key figure in the slow food movement. He was a pioneer, meaning he was one of the first and most important people to start this movement. The slow food movement encourages traditional, local food and farming practices, promoting good, clean, and fair food for everyone. News 10 of 16. After 3 decades of avoiding the police, Germany's most wanted woman has been sent to prison. Daniela Klett, a former member of the Red Army faction, which was a terrorist group, has been sentenced to 13 years for armed robberies. This happened after the group officially broke up. Her capture closes a long chapter in German law enforcement. News 11 of 16. In Japan, a fascinating trend called catnomics shows how much the country loves cats. This love has grown into a huge industry worth billions of dollars. Cats are important in every part of Japanese society. Even the imperial family owns some. Tokyo even has its own cat town, showing just how deeply cats are loved and valued there. News 12 of 16. A Chinese activist named Dong Guangping has been detained in South Korea after he tried to escape China in a rubber boat. He had been jailed before for his activism in China and had attempted to escape on several other occasions. This latest attempt highlights his ongoing efforts to leave the country. News 13 of 16. In the Ukraine war, Russia has told its banks to arm themselves to shoot down drones, under a new law. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian president, Zelensky, has asked the former U.S. President, Trump, for help. Zelensky wrote a letter requesting more ammunition for Ukraine's Patriot air defense systems. A British spy chief also estimated that almost 500,000 Russian soldiers have been killed. News 14 of 16. Looking ahead to France, 35 people want to become the next president. The question is, what could go wrong? Unless the main political parties get themselves organized, next year's election might give power to the far right. This large number of candidates suggests a divided political landscape. News 15 of 16. The head of the World Health Organization, WHO, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, has called for a ceasefire in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, to deal with an Ebola outbreak. He warned of a catastrophic collision of disease and conflict. As a result, Uganda has closed its border with the DRC to try and control the spread of the disease. News 16 of 16. Finally, some good news from Laos. 5 villagers have been found alive in a cave. Search teams are still looking for 2 other people who are missing. A video seems to show divers finding the group sitting on a rock, surrounded by floodwater. It's a hopeful development in a difficult situation. That's all for today's news on Levelcast. Keep practicing your English, and we'll see you next time.